I'm Heyzeus, and in this video, we're going to be looking at whether 2014 Counter-Strike YouTube was actually any good. 2014 is the year I started playing Counter-Strike, and when I started playing this game, I watched a lot of YouTube content, and I remember thinking it was pretty good. But 10 years is a very long time, so I'm going to be taking a trip back to the early days of CSGO to rewatch the classic videos of 2014 Counter-Strike YouTube. Is it actually as good as I remember? Does it still stand up today? Or has time been very unkind to this classic Counter-Strike content? Let's get into things. Now, this video is sponsored by Skinport, the easy to use skins marketplace which is a miles better way of getting skins than opening cases. Skinport has a bonkers range of skins, 1.8 million of them, available at prices significantly less than what you'd pay on the Steam market. For example, here's a Bowie Tiger Tooth for $488 on the Steam market, and here's the same knife for $345 on Skinport. And best of all, there are no extra fees when you buy a skin. What you see is what you pay, unless you're Australian, lucky me. It's also a really convenient place to sell. Payouts go straight to your bank account, and again, zero extra withdrawal fees when you cash out. And Skinport can also middleman your skins for you as well. The fee on private listings is only 2%. It's also safe and extremely reliable to use, so safe and reliable that it has a 4.9 star Trustpilot rating of 27,000 reviews. So it's a great site, check it out, link is in the description. TheWarOwl is an absolute legend of Counter-Strike on YouTube, and 2014 is when his channel really started to take off. I watched a lot of his stuff back then, but for this video, I want to focus on one particular series he made, Matchmaking Academy. Basically what would happen is people would send him in a demo with a bunch of questions about how they could improve their game, and he would politely analyze it to give them some useful feedback.
Remember, very brave to send this thing in, so don't mock the player for how they play. This is the demo that you want to send in. What were you? Oh no, that was terrible.
This series was extremely popular, it got enormous views even by today's standards, and it's one of the things that really helped to make TheWarOwl as a YouTuber. But are the videos any good today? Well, watching them now, something really stands out to me. The questions being asked in them sound kinda dumb. I mean, let's just look at the first episode. TheWarOwl is sent a demo of a CT who is 1v4 up. They have the bomb, and he and his teammates decide that the best thing to do in this situation is to rush the T and get themselves all killed. And apparently he needs help figuring out what he's done wrong. Wow, what a puzzle. I'm sure TheWarOwl struggled with that one. And a lot of the questions he got in these are pretty similar to this. I mean, to summarize his advice from some of the other episodes, it's stuff like actually communicate with your teammates. Aim at head level. Don't stand in front of the enemy while you're flashing them. Don't shoot when you're moving. Wear armor. It's advice that is completely useless unless you are totally new to the game. But that is actually what's great about this series. Back in 2014, most CS players were brand new to the game. Over 2014, the average number of people playing CSGO went from 47,000 to 234,000. That means that about 80% of the player base had been playing for less than a year. So it's not a surprise that this series took off. But are the videos still helpful today? Well, to be honest, a lot of the information in them is still pretty useful, even in CS2. It's not super helpful for veterans, and most players these days are veterans, but for anyone new, these are still extremely good lessons. I can definitely understand why TheWarOwl stopped making them, but there is no doubt his 2014 videos were absolute quality. Sparkles was big in 2014.
Well played, Sparkles. You've inspired some people with your performances, and they are funny videos. They really are.
Those videos are awesome.
But watching his 2014 stuff is really interesting because it's not really Sparkles. Well, not the Sparkles we know today. You see, while today Sparkles mostly makes videos about skins, 2014 Sparkles mostly just uploaded clips. Some of them were clips of him ninja defusing, some of them were clips of other people ninja defusing, some of them were just clips of crazy moments and stuff like that, but they were mostly just that, clips. And Sparkles himself is nowhere in sight, he doesn't even speak in them. Now, this is not to say they're bad. Even back in 2014, his production values are higher than what you'd see on the average clip channel today. But I will be completely honest, and I hope Sparkles forgives me for this, I don't think they've aged well. Regardless of how good your clips are, they are fundamentally still 2014 gameplay on 2014 maps with 2014 mics. And no matter how good they are, the reality is the game has moved on, and there's going to be an endless number of modern clips they're competing with. So while I'm sure this is massively nostalgic stuff for a lot of people, I don't think time has been terribly kind to this content. But what is remarkable is the fact that Sparkles still has a large channel today. Generally speaking, making clip videos is a very bad, not good thing to do if you don't want your channel dying. If all your content is clips, your audience will very happily drop you for someone else who makes clips. But not only has Sparkles' channel not died, he's moved on to making an entirely different type of content and kept a huge audience. How did that happen? Well, the truth is, Sparkles was actually always making skins content. All the way back in 2014, he was trading up skins and opening cases. But here's the thing about these videos, they're terrible.
Okay, hello ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special case opening for you today.
I'm sorry, that's me, but let's be honest, the stuff Sparkles makes today is 1,000 times better, and it's not just him. Every case unboxing video from the time is like this. They all suck. It's always just some guy recording himself whispering into the mic while they open a tiny number of cases. What happened to make case unboxing videos interesting? Well, so Anomaly is a bit different to the other YouTubers here. While TheWarOwl built his channel posting excellent guides that help new players, and Sparkles built his channel posting sick ninjas and incredible plays, Anomaly built his channel by autistically screaming at the skins rolling past on his screen. Naturally, this led him to become the most successful YouTuber in the history of Counter-Strike. His most famous video from the time is something called Trolled by Valve with 15 million views, but he does have a bunch of older videos with millions of views as well. What are these videos like? Well, they're a lot like case openings today. Subtitles, screaming, the camera being thrown around, visual gags. The cases themselves aren't even really the attraction. The attraction is Anomaly the person, screaming like a little girl because he just unboxed the gold. Anomaly told me the reason he made these initially was just to show his unboxings to his friends, but in the process he accidentally invented the idea of trying to make case openings funny. Pretty much every case unboxing video today is still based on this idea Anomaly came up with in these videos. And because of that, I think they've aged pretty good. The UI might have gotten old, but the Swedish guy screaming in a high-pitched voice is pretty much timeless. Next up, we have 3Clicks Philip, who is basically the polar opposite of Anomaly. 3Clicks is an unusual guy with an unorthodox way of doing YouTube and a lot of side projects, and he also had a bunch of hit Counter-Strike videos back in 2014. What are those videos like now? Well, a lot of these videos are guides to very basic stuff in the game, like graphic settings, how Molotovs work, crouching versus walking, that sort of stuff. They're perfect for the beginners who are flooding the game at the time, and you can also see the insane attention to detail that defines 3Clicks as a content creator. His analysis of Tweeday's 2,228 case unboxing, for example, where he recorded every single case in a spreadsheet, is utterly insane. But in general, this content has not aged great. Not because they're bad videos, but because the game mechanics he's analyzing have gradually shifted over time, so the information just isn't really in date anymore. There's no doubt these were great videos when they were released that helped people a lot, but just like the Sparkle stuff, unfortunately, I don't think it's proven to be evergreen. Unlike his other projects. Oh, by the way, I'm actually an idiot. I completely forgot Philip has another channel loaded with Counter-Strike content. This channel's content is really good too. It's got series like Going Low in CSGO and a lot of other creative and very personality-driven content. It's structured, it's nicely edited, it's scripted, there's jokes in there. Yeah, Philip was actually cooking. Anyway, who else was active back in 2014? Well, when it came to dedicated videos about skins, the main guy making content was a guy called QCast. QCast's channel is probably most notable for pioneering the nothing to a knife format of video, and he also made some early trade up and case opening videos. In general, these videos are kind of bad. A lot of them are just images of him doing trades with a few annotations, and when he is speaking, he's only slightly easier to understand than Kenny from South Park. But since no one else was making this type of content at the time, he managed to get a pretty respectable audience. Another person who was able to rack up views in 2014 was Retchy, serious views too. 500k, 700k, 1 million, 3.5 million. So what was this content that was pulling in insane views? Well, it was footage of Retchy running around in deathmatch, using the skins, without commentary. 3 million views. I'm not really sure what to make of these videos. I mean, this is what Retchy's channel did. He just uploaded gameplay clips, and it seems like he was getting his skins right after they came out. Like, he got his Butterfly Slaughter 2 days after the release of Operation Breakout, for example, and you know, he definitely tapped into an audience. People clearly wanted to see these skins. NATO Sapphics was also pulling some very big numbers back in 2014. His videos include stuff like case unboxings as well as guides on how to play the game. The skins content is pretty similar to what Sparkles was making at the time, but his guides are much more interesting. They are a little bit discombobulated compared to TheWarOwl's content at the time, but they're also jam-packed with tons of useful tricks about how to play on these maps, and I've got no doubt it helped a lot of people as they were starting to play CS. They don't have the polish people expect from videos today, but by the standards of the time, they were still pretty good, and I've got to credit the guy on just how wide a range of stuff he made. Now, another name that definitely needs to be mentioned is Hatton Games. This guy stopped making videos a few years ago now, but he was pumping out a lot of stuff back in 2014. Notably, he was one of the early people to make Overwatch videos, and he also had some case opening and trade up videos too. But a significant part of his content was just matchmaking games, uploaded whole with pretty much no editing. And while basically no one makes videos like this anymore, at the time it was super common. There were quite a few YouTubers doing it. People like Pause Unpause and Anderzel, for example, uploaded hundreds of videos just like this. But there's no doubt this format has really aged like milk. It just isn't something people watch anymore. Anyway, this is where I started to run into a problem because there aren't actually that many large YouTubers from the time left. I actually saw some lists of creators from the time, but what I realized pretty quickly is that when you filtered out these big YouTubers and the guys with only 2k subs, you're basically left with only a list of pro players and people who work as talent at events. And while these guys were often making some pretty useful content, they're not really YouTubers, and it shows. Launders, for example, has a number of very popular videos from the time, including one infamous video where he reviewed his own Overwatch demo. But these are definitely not what you'd call well produced. I think most of them are just stream clips. They haven't aged great. Another good example is Adren. Adren made a lot of guides back in 2014. Some of them did very well, and again, they've got very useful information in them. But they're also still not that well made. Like, they're scrappy off-the-cuff recordings. And of course, it's not fair to judge Launders or Adren as if they're YouTubers, because they're not YouTubers. Adren was a pro player and Launders is a commentator, and both of them have had successful careers. They're not in a position to make super high quality YouTube content, and it's not fair to expect them to. But that is kind of my point here. Was 2014 CS YouTube content actually good? My answer is not particularly. And it's not because the content creators were bad, it's just that there weren't that many content creators. The game just couldn't support a large pool of people making videos, and the ones it could support weren't in a position to put in the time and effort people put into making videos today. There definitely were some great videos, there just weren't that many of them. I will say though, the people who really seem to be going an extra mile when it comes to effort back in 2014 are the same people who've kept a large audience to this very day. You can tell Sparkles really does care about quality. You can tell 2Clicks is putting 10 times more effort into his videos than the people who are just uploading their matchmaking games and calling it a day. Long term, the community has rewarded quality, and I think that's really great. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. If you've enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe. Otherwise, trust the numbers, not your guts. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.